Welcome to part 2 of the Into the Bush Mutant Epoch solo play series on my channel, where we take a look at some mechanics of gameplay and I show you how I run this campaign in story format. In our last episode, our three adventurers ended with an encounter with some man-eating lizard hunters. They managed to put one into a coma and the other out of its misery. The three gained 24 experience factors in total from the encounter and split evenly between the three of them for 8 experience factors each. They also acquired a diamond on neck string and a glass bead bracelet for a total worth of 274 silver pieces. So our three adventurers return to Manny and Morgox to sell the looted goods to the two-headed mutant merchant. The adventurers trade in the diamond string necklace and glass bead bracelet to Manny and Morgox and split the 274 silver pieces amongst each other. Earl and Trixie receiving 91 silver pieces each, and they award Harvey 92 silver pieces for the successful coma inducement on the lizard hunter from the last encounter. On Harvey's character sheet, we're going to go ahead and place our experience factors total from our last encounter in the top left area of the experience factors section. And I also went ahead and put the total amount of silver pieces Harvey has underneath his physical profile labeled as SP. Since Harvey has increased his silver pieces, he's going to want to beef up his armor class a bit more since his cross-eyed flaw is giving him such a disadvantage. In Manny and Morgox's in-stock inventory, Harvey picks the buckler shield, priced at D10 plus 6 silver pieces, and the junk helmet priced at D10 plus 9 silver pieces. We'll first roll for the buckler shield, priced at D10 plus 6 silver pieces. 7 plus 6 equals 13. Now we'll roll for the junk helmet, priced at D10 plus 9 silver pieces. 6 plus 9, 15. Of course, Manny and Morgox have a liking for Harvey and give him a 2 silver piece discount on both items. The buckler shield is now priced at 11 silver pieces and the junk helmet at 13 silver pieces. In total, Harvey spends 24 silver pieces. We went ahead and added the shield and buckler to Harvey's armor list, and it gives him a new defense value of -7. While the junk helmet does decrease his movement by an additional -0.25, it's still 50% or below, so it rounds down and doesn't affect his movement. We've also subtracted 24 silver pieces from his 103 total. On Earl's character sheet, we went ahead and added the 8 experience factors in the section in the top left, and additionally added his current silver piece total underneath his physical profile. In our last encounter, Earl lost a poison-tipped arrow from a missed shot at one of the lizard men. We went ahead and used a subtraction mark to display that here on the character sheet. So he's going to want to buy some more poison-tipped arrows for Manny and Morgox if they got them. Manny and Morgox explain that they only have 2 poison-tipped arrows left, which the adventurers can purchase. Unfortunately, since supplies are limited, no discount can be applied here. However, Morgox does offer the 3 discounts on future poison-tipped arrows, if they can retrieve more black spider poison for the merchant to craft. The 3 adventurers take the offer. So Manny and Morgox explain that to the north of Rough River there is a series of small ruins that have overgrown to form caves, and there they will find poisonous black spiders that they can harvest. The adventurers thank the merchant for the valuable information and buy the 2 remaining poison-tipped arrows for 2 silver pieces. On Earl's character sheet, we've went ahead and added the 2 poison-tipped arrows in his ammo inventory and subtracted 2 silver pieces. And lastly, on Trixie's character sheet, we've added her experience factors in the top left and her silver piece total underneath her physical profile. Trixie's going to hold off on buying equipment for now, so she can save her coin for a pistol or pistol ammo. Alright, and with that, the three are on their way to their next destination. The next order of business for the trio will be heading over to Artemis Wing's bistro to grab a bite to eat and load up on some rations for their upcoming adventures. So the three adventurers headed south through one of the jungle's many dirt roads. Artemis Wing's bistro was a small outpost centered in a small clearing among the heavily forested jungle. The adventurers entered the small structure, and Artemis Wing was just finishing up the breakdown of some fresh game. He greeted the three characters with a simple nod as he stood there with a giant cleaver in one hand and another sharp blade in the other. His apron had fresh blood all over it. Artemis himself had a hard look about him. It seemed easy to tell from first glance he was a veteran of the jungles. He had some light cyborg augmentation, most likely to make up for some debilitating injury, as well as several noticeable facial scars and one blind eye. Inside the bistro, our three heroes inquire about Artemis Wing's goods for sale. For this campaign, our characters will need to allocate a time to eat each day to stay healthy and fit on their adventures. Each day the characters go without eating. They deduct a point first from their daily healing rate, which is located next to the profile picture. Once that reaches 0, then it will deduct from their endurance trait points, which is to the left of the character sheet. When injured, eating can gain them either a lost endurance point or a healing rate point each day. Looking at the menu, the three adventurers decide to get a week's ration for each of them, priced at 6 silver pieces, for a total of 18 silver pieces, which they will split the cost evenly amongst themselves. Additionally, while here at the bistro, the characters will each have a meal of turkey-sized frog legs, priced at 3 silver pieces each, for a total of 9 silver pieces, in which they will split the cost evenly. So, all in all, each of our characters spend 9 silver pieces on rations and their daily food consumption allocation. We'll subtract 9 silver pieces from each of the characters' silver piece total. So the three ate their turkey-sized frog legs, thanked Artemis for his hospitality, and then continued on their way. So the three traveled on to their next order of business, paying a visit to Benson's Drowning Catfish Saloon. As they approached the building, they could tell it was a main staple of this small town. The piano could be heard from up the dirt road, and a varying different array of characters were littered all over as they got closer. Some passed out drunk on the stairs, a few on the patio playing a few games of cards, and some definitely looking like working girls flipping a few tricks. Benson's Drowning Catfish Saloon is owned and operated by none other than Benson himself. Another veteran of the jungles, he was an ex-military draftee of the Freehold Scouts. After fighting in a small war against a Skullik warlord and warband in an attempted takeover of the region, Benson decided to remain in the jungles and fulfill his passion for cocktails and owning his own bar. 20 years later, the Drowning Catfish is known in all parts of the lower Freehold regions. The artwork here was done by William Mcausland and can be found in the Mutant Epoch Quick Start RPG demo release. As our three adventurers enter Benson's Drowning Catfish Saloon, let's establish what kind of patrons they see. For this part of the adventure, I'll be using the Crossroads region book for tables and references. I highly recommend getting this book for yourself, as it is packed full of useful tables, lore, maps, and general rules to add to your RPG toolkit. So on page 384, under the Independent Freetown Patrons table, we're going to roll a d10 4 times and go over the results of those. Alright, we have an 8, 9, 3, and 7. So for our first one is going to be a nomadic trader and D3 militia guards eating and drinking peacefully. And we'll go ahead and roll this D6 to represent a D3 to see how many militia guards are with this nomadic trader. And we have 1. So we'll drop this down here. And that'll be the militia soldier with that nomadic trader, drinking and eating peacefully. Alright, our next roll was 9, and for that, we're going to roll 2d4 commoner men, dirty from farm work, at the bar, drunk and obnoxious, and will make fun of any odd-looking characters or cyborgs, but won't pick a fight. So we're going to roll a 2d4 here to establish how many commoner folk we have, and there's 4. We're going to grab these commoner tokens and put those right over here. 3 and 4. Our next roll was 3, and 3 is going to be 3 plus D3 militia soldiers looking for work at a rate of 14 silver pieces each per day, but will not enter the ruins. So we're going to do 3 plus D3, get rid of these ones, and we're going to do 3 plus D3 is going to be a D6. And that is going to be a 3. So we have a total of 6 militia soldiers. And we'll put them right over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And they're all looking for work. However, they will not go into the ruins, because that is a dangerous place. Perilous. And our last roll was 7, which is going to be D3 excavators discussing something in hushed tones. They are 56% likely to be part of a larger group and not interested in new recruits nor joining the PCs. However, they are open to the idea and will welcome excavators to sit with them and discuss a possible union. So we're going to go ahead and roll D6 to represent a D3. And we have 1 excavator. We'll drop that excavator down over here. She's having a beer by herself. And of course, we also have the Rough River Rascals and a few working girls in the bar this evening. And we're going to go ahead and drop them off with these Rough River Rascal tokens here. They're shady looking characters. Kind of all huddled over here in the back, and we have a few of these working girl tokens as well, kind of over here entertaining the Rough River Rascals. And there we have our populated Drowning Catfish Saloon. Our 3 adventurers approach Benson at the bar as he gives them a nod upon their entry. Security droids throughout the establishment keep a watchful eye on the heroes as they walk the floor. The muddy laborers, home from a dirty day's job, drunk, point and laugh and heckle to themselves about Harvey and his mutant deformities. Harvey does his best to hold his composure. A large group of militia soldiers on one end of the bar look interested and eager to be hired for work, as the group of hoodlums on the opposite side of the bar look interested and intrigued by the new faces in a shifty, malintent way. Lastly, a single excavator sits alone by herself, looking deeply into some notes and talking to herself. As the 3 sit at the bar, the trader next to them gives a nod and an open invite to conversate for a possible trade. The three ask Benson for the drink menu. Looking over the menu, Trixie decides to try the local whiskey priced at 5 silver pieces. Earl buys a pint of the local lager on tap and a shot of whiskey for 10 silver pieces. And lastly, Harvey goes for Pitford's imported stout on tap, priced at 6 silver pieces. Now with drinks in their hand, they feel a bit more at ease with the hustle and bustle around them. Trixie inquires of Benson about any house gambling tables available. Benson tells Trixie she's just in time. Their house card game was just about to start. She can find the private game room in the south left corner of the saloon. Trixie enters the private game room and sees 2 other players just seating themselves and getting situated, while a security droid who's also programmed as the saloon's house dealer shuffles the cards. Directly sitting across from Trixie is a 6-foot-tall Clicky, a 4-armed mutant bug humanoid that has a strange resemblance to a large cockroach. And to the left of Trixie, a shifty-eyed, rough-rivered rascal raises his eyebrow upon her entry. On Trixie's character sheet, we went ahead and deducted a total of 14 silver pieces from her purchases at Artemis Wing's Bistro and the whiskey at the bar, giving her a total of 111 silver pieces left. Looking at Trixie's skill list, Trixie has a skill point in gambling. She'll be utilizing that skill point for a possible advantage during this gambling game. On the topic of gambling, under the skill section of the Mutant Epoch, we'll be dividing the sum of each gambler's intelligence trait value with perception trait value by 2. The result of that will be added to any gambling skill point modifier, and the total of that will ultimately be added to the result of a D100 roll. Whoever has the highest number wins the round. To make things easy on us and a bit fair for the game, Trixie's opponents will share the same intelligence and perception sum as Trixie. However, deciding on whether they have a gambling skill point, we'll roll a d2 for each of them. A roll of a 1 being no additional gambling skill point, and a roll of a 2 being 1 gambling skill point. Alright, we'll go ahead and roll for those gambling skill points. It's a D2, which is going to be a D6 here, and basically a 1, 2, or 3 is going to be a 1, and a 4, 5, or 6 is going to be a 2. We'll first roll for the cockroach, the cockroach humanoid, Clicky, and he got a 2, which is a 1, 2, or 3 is a 1, which means he has no gambling skill point. Now we'll roll for the Rough River Rascal, and he has a 5, which means he does have a gambling skill point. While Trixie is getting ready for her first round of gambling, Harvey and Earl strike up a conversation with a nomadic trader and his militia bodyguard sitting next to them. The nomadic trader introduced himself as Cognito Williams. He was a trader that had left the lower freehold city of Sambara and was staying in Rough River for a short period of time until he refueled up and was ready to get back up north to Pitford. The three conversed for a while about the 2 regions, and then Harvey and Earl brought up the radio tower and their plan to explore it in hopes of restoring it back to working order. Cognito scoffed at the idea and said it was far too dangerous for any of the 3 rookie adventurers to take on. Not only were the tribes of man-eating lizard folk a concern, but scouts and jungle kill squads of the DOA, or Dominion of Appalachia, inhabited the jungles just 20 kilometers north near the Golden River. Cognito offers the adventurers one of his own quests. He states that just 10 kilometers south of Rough River Province, he had a cache of goods he stored away with the intention of retrieving once he could hire the right men for the job. The adventurers would be rewarded generously for the help of retrieving and returning the cash back to Rough River Province. Let's check back into Trixie's first round of gambling. For the first round, it's going to be a 20 silver piece minimum from each of the characters. There will be a total of a 55 silver piece payout for the winner. 5 silver pieces will always go to the dealer for his service of the cards. Now let's take a look at Trixie's trait values for our first step in the gambling process. On Trixie's character sheet, we'll be combining her intelligence trait value, which is 25, with her perception trait value, which is 38. The sum of those two values of 63 will now be divided by 2, and we get 31.5, and we'll just round down to 31. Since we've allocated the other two characters with the same trait values, each of the characters will add 31 to their D100 roll, and then add their gambling skill bonus if they got them. Alright, we'll go ahead and roll for Trixie first. We'll go ahead and roll that D100 here. And she gets a 22. And we add 31 to that, which gives it, I believe, a 53. Looking at the gambling skill table, we see that 1 skill point will give Trixie an additional 10 points to her roll. So we'll change that 53 to a 63. Alright, next we'll go ahead and roll for the cockroach. Re-roll that D100, and we got a 96. It doesn't have a gambling skill point, so we don't add any additions to that, but that is a very nice high roll. And lastly, we'll do for the Rough River Rascal. And he got a 76, and he has a gambling skill point so that we'll add 10 to that 76 for an 86. So it looks like the winner of this match is going to be the cockroach at 96 points, walking away with 55 silver pieces. On Trixie's character sheet, we went ahead and deducted 20 silver pieces from her 111, and now the difference is 91. On the next round of gambling, the dealer raises the stakes to 30 silver piece minimum. The winner of this round will walk away with 80 silver pieces, as 10 goes to the dealer. We'll start off with the winner of last round, being the cockroach. We'll roll a D100 for him. And he gets a 62. No gambling skill point add-ons for that. Next, we'll go for second in order was the River Rascal. We'll roll for him. D100. He got a 14. Add the gambling skill point, and it's now a 24. And lastly, we'll do it for Trixie. And she got a 96 with the gambling skill point add-on. That is 106, and she is the winner of this round. On Trixie's character sheet, we went ahead and added 50 silver pieces to her 91 for a total of 141 silver pieces. 50 silver pieces being essentially the money she made after making her 30 silver piece minimum back and paying the dealer 10 silver pieces for its card service. After doing the rolls and calculating the totals, I do realize I didn't include the 31 trait value modifier. However, they all have 31. They're all sharing the same 31 trait value modifier, so it kind of negates, and it all kind of equates to a it's the same. They're all gonna be the same winners and losers in the end once that 31 is also added. So Trixie joins her other two comrades at the bar. Earl and Harvey introduce Cognito Williams, their new friend, and fill her in on his offer of adventure and treasure.
Trixie is intrigued and asks Cognito if his cache they need to retrieve has any relics, pistols specifically. Cognito grins and gives a nod, and replies with a yes and more. He offers to sell Trixie a pistol at a very generous discount if the party agrees to take his offer. Additionally, he will reward each of them with items from his cache once successfully returned back to Rough River Province. Then, Cognito says, once they return to Rough River, the party will have gear and be a bit more prepared to take on the radio tower in the north if they still chose to do that. Cognito pulls out a pocket pistol and offers to sell it to Trixie for a whopping 30 silver pieces, with a free full 6-round clip if the party takes his offer. Seemingly like a deal of a lifetime, Trixie instantly takes the offer. Earl and Harvey look at each other and wonder what's in it for them. Cognito promises the boys of more relics for each of them if they follow along and pick up his cache. So the three agree, and they all plan to reunite the following day at sunrise. They laugh and joke a bit more before finally finishing their drinks and bidding their farewells for now. This will conclude part 2 of our Into the Bush campaign. If you've managed to watch this entire video, thank you. And if you enjoyed this tutorial type solo play adventure written in story format, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for future upcoming content. Cheers and happy gaming!